everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Well, Zero Hedge has a piece, "The elite are privately warning about a crash." You know, we've been saying this for a very long time, that the way things are going can't continue to go on forever. Even though it's funny money, eventually the funny money well dries up. It has to, in a natural cycle. And things have been artificially propped up for way too long. And so the argument is, you know, why can't they just keep doing it? Why can't they just keep printing? I mean, after all, it is fake and everybody's doing it. And it's a very good argument. Unfortunately, that's not the way that we've seen it operate in the past. I don't think that's the way we're going to see it here in the future. Anyway, Zero Hedge has this article. It says, many everyday citizens assume powerful global financial elites operate behind closed doors in secret conclaves, like the scene of a Spectre board meeting in the recent James Bond film. Actually, the opposite's true. Most of what the power elite does is hidden in plain sight, in speeches and seminars, webcasts, and technical papers, and they're readily available from institutional websites and media channels. Now, it's true that these private meetings occur on the sidelines of Davos, the IMF annual meeting, and the G20 summits of the kind that just concluded. But the results of even those secret meetings are typically announced or leaked, or can be reasonably inferred based on subsequent policy coordination. And what the elites rely on is not secrecy, but lack of proficiency by the media. And the elites communicate in an intentionally boring style, with lots of technical jargon, and publish in channels non-experts have never heard of and are unlikely to find. In effect, the elites are communicating with each other in their own language and hoping that no one else notices. Still, there's some exceptions. Mohammed El-Arian is a bona fide member of the global power elite. He's a former deputy director of the IMF and president of Harvard Management Company. Yet he writes in a fairly accessible style on the popular Bloomberg website. And when he talks, we should listen. He said here in recent articles that he raises serious doubts about the sustainability of the bull market and stocks because of the reduced liquidity resulting from simultaneous policy tightening by the Fed, the European Central Bank, and the Bank of England. Of course, you know, we've had Brexit that is going to, over the course of the next couple of years, affect monetary policy in the UK. You've got the European Central Bank that has been printing money, and now they're starting to tighten. And same with the Fed. You see a rise in interest rates going on, and they're trying to pare down their balance sheet. And when they start to do that and start pulling money back, it's going to have an effect. Now, he says, you've heard the expression, the big money. This is a reference to the largest and most plugged-in investors on the earth. Some of the mega-rich individuals and some of the large banks and institutional investors with a dense network of contacts and inside information. And at the top of the food chain, when it comes to big money, are the sovereign wealth funds. And these are funds sponsored by the most wealthy nations to invest a country's reserves from trade or natural resources in stocks, bonds, private equities, and hedge funds. As a result, sovereign wealth fund managers have the best information networks of any investors. Now, among sovereign wealth funds, the government of Singapore Investment Group is one of the largest with over $354 billion in assets. So what are they saying about the markets today? Well, CEO Lim Chow Kiat warns the valuations are stretched, policy uncertainty is high, and investors are being too complacent. And they allocate 40% of their assets to cash or high liquidity bonds, and about 27% of its assets in developed economic equities. So you're seeing a lot of people now starting to sound the alarm that, hey, you know, maybe we need to slow it down. We need to slow it down, because you never know when that trigger is going to take place, what's going to happen, what it will be. We've seen that repeatedly in the past. You know, all of a sudden Lehman Brothers starts to go down and kaboom. I mean, it just kicks off a chain of events that leaves people in ruins. We've seen that time and time again with these greedy, corrupt gamblers on Wall Street. They take your money and they gamble it any way they see fit. And one day, it's inevitable. You're going to have the valley that goes along with the peak. We saw it in 2007. We saw it in 2001, and we're going to see it again. When? I don't know. But I can tell you that if you are invested in the stock market right now, it seems incredibly high. And you might want to take some steps to help hedge against something that might be catastrophic. Again, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I do know it has happened in the past. And I know that when these happen, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.